I woke up feeling wrong. Not sick wrong, not tired wrong, something else. Something terrifying. My name is Evangelina. I'm 65 years old, and today was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My only son, Marcus, was getting married. But when I reached up to brush my hair from my face, there was nothing there. Just smooth, cold skin. I sat up so fast my head spun, ran to the bathroom mirror, and what I saw made my heart stop completely. Bald. Completely bald. Not a single strand of silver hair left. The hair I'd cared for, styled, maintained for 65 years, gone. Like someone had taken a razor to my entire head while I slept. But that wasn't even the worst part. Before I could process what I was seeing, my stomach twisted violently. A cramping sensation so intense I doubled over. I barely made it to the toilet before my body betrayed me completely. I won't describe the details, but I'll tell you this. I couldn't leave that bathroom for more than 5 minutes at a time. When I finally caught my breath, I saw it. A folded piece of paper on the counter that wasn't there last night. My hands shook as I opened it. Now you have the look and the smell you deserve, you disgusting old woman. Enjoy staying home today. Alondra, my future daughter-in-law. The woman who had smiled at me last night during our reconciliation dinner, who had insisted I eat more dessert, who had hugged me and said, "Tomorrow will be perfect, Evangelina." I stared at that note while my stomach cramped again. The wedding was in 3 hours, and I was trapped in my own bathroom, humiliated, violated, and completely helpless. Or so she thought. Because what Alondra didn't know, what none of them knew, was that this morning, this terrible, humiliating morning, was about to save me from the biggest mistake of my life. You see, after the ceremony, I had planned to transfer $120 million to Marcus and Alondra as my wedding gift. $120 million. My entire liquid fortune. Everything I'd built over 33 years since my husband died. But something was about to change that plan completely.
I couldn't leave the bathroom for more than 10 minutes without another wave hitting me. Industrial strength laxatives. That's what she'd put in my dessert. Enough to keep me locked in my house, too humiliated to show my face at the wedding. I was trying to figure out what to do. Call a doctor, take every medication I had, wear adult diapers to the ceremony, when I heard Marcus's voice from downstairs. He was on the phone, and he was close enough that his voice carried clearly up to where I sat, trapped in my bathroom prison. Valeria, the plan worked perfectly. Valeria, his secretary, the 25-year-old who had been working for him for the past year. My son continued, his voice cold and calculated in a way I'd never heard before. Mom can't even leave the bathroom. Alondra put enough laxatives in that chocolate cake to keep her there all day. I stopped breathing. No, she won't make it to the wedding. Can you imagine showing up bald and running to the bathroom every 5 minutes? She's too proud for that. I pressed my hand over my mouth to keep from making a sound. My phone was on the counter. Slowly, carefully, I reached for it and started recording. "Listen, baby," Marcus said, and that word, baby, made my stomach turn for reasons that had nothing to do with the poison. "After the ceremony, we'll get the transfer done. $120 million. Then we just have to wait a few months before I file for divorce. Alondra knows the plan. She gets half in the divorce settlement, I keep half, and then you and I can finally be together without hiding." My son, my only child, was planning to marry Alondra for my money, then divorce her and run away with his mistress. "Mom," he laughed. It was a cruel sound. "Once we have the money secured, we'll convince her to move into a senior living facility. She's 65. It's normal. And honestly, Valeria, after everything she's put me through, always controlling, always involved in my business, she deserves to spend her final years alone. The phone almost slipped from my hand, but I kept recording. Every word, every heartless, calculated word. The best part, Marcus continued, she thinks this is all about love. She thinks I'm her devoted son, making a good marriage. She has no idea that the second that money transfers, her usefulness ends. He hung up. I heard his footsteps going back downstairs. I sat there on my bathroom floor, bald, sick, humiliated, and now completely heartbroken. The child I'd raised alone, the boy I'd worked 3 jobs for, the son I'd built an empire for so he'd never feel the fear of poverty I'd felt after his father died. That child was gone, and in his place was a stranger who saw me as nothing but a bank account with an expiration date. But you know what? Something shifted in me right then. The tears stopped, the shame evaporated, and a cold, clear rage settled over me like armor. I looked at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, bald, pale, sick, and I smiled, because they had no idea I heard everything, and they definitely had no idea what I was about to do.
I made 4 phone calls from that bathroom floor. Call number 1, my personal doctor. I need the strongest anti-diarrheal medication you can legally prescribe, and I need it delivered to my house in the next hour. Call number 2, my stylist. Bring the most elegant wig you have. I don't care what it costs. Call number 3, my lawyer, David. Cancel the transfer, all of it, every single dollar, and don't tell anyone. Evangelita, are you sure? He asked. David, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Call number 4. I didn't make this one. Instead, I sent the recording of Marcus's phone call to my personal cloud storage. Evidence, just in case I needed it. By 10 a.m., I had a platinum blonde wig styled perfectly on my head. My makeup was flawless, better than I'd looked in years. My navy blue suit fit perfectly, elegant and dignified. And yes, I was wearing adult diapers underneath, but no one would ever know. I looked at myself in the mirror one final time. The woman staring back at me wasn't the broken, humiliated victim Alondra had tried to create. She was something far more dangerous. I grabbed my clutch purse, containing my phone, the cruel note, a copy of the canceled transfer documents, and enough medication to get me through the next 4 hours. Marcus and Alondra wanted to play games with my money and my dignity? Fine, let's play.
I arrived at the church 30 minutes before the ceremony. The moment Marcus saw me walk through those doors, his face went white. "Mom," he stammered, rushing over. We thought you were sick." "I was," I said calmly, kissing his cheek, "but nothing could keep me from my son's wedding." I could see him calculating, trying to figure out how I'd managed to be there. His eyes flickered to my hair. The wig was so perfect, he couldn't tell it wasn't real. Alondra appeared from the preparation room, and when she saw me, she actually stumbled. Her face cycled through confusion, then panic, then forced composure. "Evangelina," she said, her voice tight. "What a surprise. We thought you'd be more comfortable resting at home." "Oh, I considered it," I replied with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. But then I realized, why would I miss the most important financial transaction of my life? I saw it, that flicker of greed in both their eyes. They thought I was talking about the transfer. "I'm so glad you're here, Mom," Marcus said, hugging me. It felt like hugging a snake. I took my seat in the front row. Every 15 minutes, I excused myself to the bathroom. Each time I returned, I could see the knowing smirks on Alondra's bridesmaids' faces. They knew. They thought it was hilarious. The ceremony was beautiful. Expensive flowers, a string quartet, everything perfect. And completely fake. I watched Marcus promise to love, honor, and cherish Alondra. I watched her promise the same, and all I could think about was what I'd overheard that morning. When the priest asked if anyone objected, I stayed silent. My objection would come later, and it would be far more devastating than anything I could say in that moment.
The reception hall was perfect. Champagne flowed. The cake was magnificent. Everyone was celebrating the beautiful couple. And then Marcus handed me the microphone for the mother of the groom toast. "Mom, would you like to say a few words?" "I would love to," I said, standing up. My legs were steady. My voice was clear. I walked to the center of the room. Every eye was on me. "Thank you all for being here on this very memorable day." Polite applause, smiles. No one suspected what was coming. As you know, I had planned to give Marcus and Alondra a very special wedding gift today, $120 million. Gasps, murmurs. Marcus and Alondra's eyes lit up like slot machines, hitting jackpot. But something interesting happened this morning. I reached up and slowly, deliberately, removed my wig. The gasps turned to shocked silence. I woke up like this, completely bald, and I found this note. I held up Alondra's cruel message and read it out loud, every word. The room erupted in whispers. Alondra's face had gone from white to crimson. But that wasn't even the worst part, I continued. The worst part was the industrial-strength laxatives she'd put in my dessert last night, enough to keep me trapped in my bathroom all day, too humiliated to come to this wedding. "That's a lie," Alondra shrieked, but her face told everyone the truth. "Is it?" I pulled out my phone, because I have a recording I'd like everyone to hear. I pressed play. Marcus's voice filled the silent room. "Valeria, the plan worked perfectly. Mom can't even leave the bathroom." Every word, every cruel detail. His plan with his mistress, the fake marriage, the plot to steal my money and abandon me in a nursing home. Marcus tried to grab the phone, but security, hired by me that morning, held him back. "And Alondra," I said, turning to her, "would you like to tell everyone about your divorce attorney? About how you planned to take half the money and leave Marcus the moment it was safe?" She couldn't speak, couldn't move. "So here's my real wedding gift," I said, my voice ringing clear and strong. "The transfer was canceled this morning. Every single dollar stays with me." I looked at both of them, these two people who had conspired to poison, humiliate, rob, and discard me. You deserve each other, and you'll face each other with nothing. I set the microphone down, picked up my clutch, and walked toward the exit. Behind me, the room exploded, shouting, crying, chaos. But I was already gone, and for the first time in 33 years, I was finally free.